Almost 50% of businesses in Ireland are now using AI in various forms as part of their day-to-day workflow. My next guest has written the AI Bible on how this should be done. Mark Kelly, author of AI Unleashed and creator of AI Ireland, a non-profit community devoted to promoting AI in Ireland. Mark, good morning and welcome.
Hiya, Pat. Great to be here.
Okay, so what does AI Ireland do, first of all?
It showcases on the island of Ireland how AI is used to solve business problems and also help society. So we've had over 150 episodes on the podcast from companies big and small. And through the AI Awards, we've showcased 500 examples of how AI is used for good in 6 years.
Now, AI is all around us. Give us examples of where we're all using it, even though we don't know it.
Yeah, absolutely. So think about Netflix. You've got an account, your kids have got an account, your partner has an account personalized to you. When you make a purchase on Amazon, the recommendations that you make that purchase or the bundle that you have is there. Or predictive text. I want to go and do things in Dublin. By the time you've actually put in that text, you've got several different options to go through. Your Instagram, your TikTok feed, all fed by AI.
If you put in happy, you might get New Year or anniversary or birthday or Christmas.
Correct.
That kind of thing.
And then you'll take cookies on your previous websites and they will determine what you want to purchase, when you want to purchase, and suddenly you will make that purchase.
Right. Now, that's the, if you like, inadvertent all around us AI that's working away without our knowledge or consent, I suppose. Then there's where you actually deliberately decide to use AI to improve your business.
So we have old AI, which I class their recommendation engine. So now we've got generative AI. OpenAI came to town. They introduced this technology in 2022 and the world exploded. 100 million users in 2 months. And what this gave companies the opportunity to take off-the-shelf AI that they can introduce to their products. This will be seen as tools such as Copilot, where you will be able to create a presentation with a prompt, which is create me a presentation about Dublin City Council or Dublin City Centre. And then you can also create content, sales and marketing, summarization tools that can be done in moments that might have taken hours before. Microsoft, for example, are coding 60% of their code through AI. This was not possible 18 months ago.
Now, what happens then? So I say, write me a press release about celebrity Big Brother and concentrate on the two who are most likely to be evicted first.
Correct.
What will happen?
You will give them some certain text. You'll write the prompt, and journalists are very effective at writing prompts, and it will create this content. This content will then still need to be tweaked by you, and you will be able to share this. This content could probably be created in 30 seconds.
Okay, but you would recommend I should read it back.
Correct.
To make sure that there isn't some blooper in there.
You're going to have a human in the loop, so you're going to tweak it. So it's the augmented experience. AI with the tool, humans still doing the oversight to share it.
Now, that's a deliberate use of AI in, if you like, the creative field. And people can understand, writing a press release, writing a summary of a document which might be circulated to staff and so on. Let's move on to a more sophisticated level. What next?
So OpenAI have introduced Sora. Sora is text to video. This technology is so powerful, it has had to be kept behind doors to give certain people the impact. You put in a prompt, create me a video of a man walking down O'Connell Street on a frosty morning, spring. It will create a feature-length video of 1 minute that is the similar quality to MGM Productions.
So I could say, I want a video of Mark Kelly in Lycra cycling around Cork City on a Sunday morning.
And you will think that is Mark Kelly. Is that perfect?
Okay. And it'll have Cork City in the background.
Exactly.
And the hills and you sweating.
Exactly. And if you then say, make it sunny and Mark Kelly is ecstatic because he's won the lotto, it does that too.
So we're getting into the possibility of deep fakes. Is that why it has to be minded, this technology? Because I've already seen recently deep fakes of Donald Trump talking about the Irish pub and Joe Biden talking about this, that and the other.
So deep fakes is real. There's going to be 90 elections this year. Half the population will be impacted by that. 4 weeks ago in Hong Kong, a gentleman attended a call. 3 of his colleagues were on the call. Unbeknown to them, there were deep fakes. He handed over $25 million in that call.
Wow. We're getting to the point where we should not believe anything. Anything you see, you have to be skeptical about it. But not everyone is going to bring that level of skepticism to the process.
Well, in Europe, we've got the AI EU Act, which will be regulated very soon. We expect that 18 months there will be law. So there's going to be certain criteria around this. For companies that get that wrong, there's fines up to $36 million. Firms now will need an AI policy. And you might say to me, Pat, but I don't use AI in my policy. Well, your employees do, because we know that 30% of employees are using AI outside of work and they're using probably customer data. So we need to have a policy on how you manage that.
Now, they're talking that within a short few years, maybe 5 years, that AI will be able to answer every exam question that an examiner may set in any field.
Well, I believe AI could do that now.
You think you could do that now
Correct.
and not be detected?
The question is a calculator. A person walked in the 60s with a calculator, he was frog marched out. Person walked in with a calculator now, they say that's fine. Large language models are a calculator. So do you even want to question them? It's just an approach of the education system.
You're going to have to examine people differently,
Exactly.
basically.
So tell me your personal story, Mark. How did you get here today? Well, I cycled in the rain, I had my rain bottoms on. That's a personal story that ChatGPT equivalent can't tell, but also I explained how I got to the city centre. So you're going to have to be creative from an educational perspective of showing how you could do it from that personal experience.
What about CVs?
Screens, selections, you can create a CV in a moment, but how do you create a CV that stands out from the crowd? Again, you need to reimagine the process. AI can decipher.
Can I not say, AI, please create for me a CV that stands out from the crowd?
It sure can, but by the end of this year, everyone will have that technology to use, so you'll have to keep pushing the boundaries.
Yeah. The question of unintended consequences, and you've thought a lot about this. What might they be? I know if we talk about them, then they're not unforeseen. But speculate on the kind of things that could happen using AI that we don't want to happen.
So let me give you an example. 1.4 million people died on our roads globally from traffic accidents. Majority of that was inattentiveness at the wheel. We look at the RSA every year, we're actually having more deaths. We've got cars that are safer than ever, better infrastructure. In the US, in San Francisco, Austin, Texas, Phoenix, we've got Waymo, which is an autonomous taxi that drives people around. Over 3 million miles have been taken, and over those 3 million miles, it is safer than your regular car.
So if, for example, there is an accident involving one of these, you must compare it to the normal statistics before you condemn it.
Correct.
You've got to say, well, if this was a regular traffic of 3 million miles or whatever, there would be 10 fatalities,
Correct,
that kind of thing.
Correct. But we're not doing like with like, because we're doing 3 million miles versus 7 trillion miles. So there's a difference. However, with the deaths we have now, unintended consequence. You're driving around in a Waymo taxi, people are going into it. People wouldn't have thought, but there's drug deals now going in those Waymo taxis. People get in, this is a nice safe spot, we'll do a drug deal. Or you're walking down the road, somebody sees a Waymo taxi, knowing that Waymo taxi won't hit them, they'll just walk out in front of them. So now they've got traffic congestion that they never talked about. So in Tokyo, they've had to change how the cars look because people know the cars aren't going to hit them. So the traffic becomes even worse.
So the car will automatically stop. It'll put the brakes on and will not hit you.
Will not hit you.
So you don't need a pedestrian crossing.
Exactly. You will not hit you.
Okay, where is all this going? I mean, how many jobs will be lost and how many jobs will be created by all of this?
So the job threat is real. Anyone that tells you otherwise is lying to you. It's disingenuous. However, there's a lot of opportunity to create jobs out of it. Certain industries will be impacted more. What we do know AI is really, really good at: customer service, HR, onboarding, offboarding, and sales and marketing. The case studies are agnostic across all industries, and that's where people can have a lot of gains.
Now, one of the things that people might be concerned about when they get involved with these large language models is that they're sharing their data in order to have it summarized, maybe, or to have some calculation made or some creative use. And that information then, I mean, is that basically open source to everyone else?
Well, you have to be very careful when you put your information onto these models, particularly the free models. You can upgrade for an enterprise or a Teams package where you pay for it, that you can actually make sure your data is private. You're putting it out to the real world, and you don't quite know what will happen with that. So the challenge is for organizations who employees are putting sensitive information is where does that go? How do you get access to that information in the future, or who will get access to that information? And we saw from Samsung, who are putting up this information very quickly, they got their hands slapped because this was very, very sensitive.
All right. Anyway, it's a brave new world, and you've written about it in AI Unleashed, and I presume people can get much more of what we've been talking about in the covers of that book.
Yeah, the purpose of that book was to make it as accessible, is any question they wanted answered with a real life example for
How
a
many
10-year
pages
old.
does it have?
It's got 156,
So if I put that into ChatGPT, how many pages would it reduce it to?
probably about three.
you're, you're very modest indeed. Mark Kelly, author and founder of AI Ireland, thank you very much for joining us in the studio.